Hey, today is a happy day for me because I'm doing an unboxing. I've been waiting for a year to get one of these Badfisher stand-up paddle boards. And so we're gonna unbox it today. Let me tell you a little bit about the paddleboard and why I chose this brand and this model. As you know, I have a number of paddle boards. I'm a little bit water obsessed, and I have a surfboard, a all-around stand-up paddle board that I can take on rivers and on flat waters and lakes and reservoirs. So my boyfriend has a traditional fishing kayak, and I wanted a fishing kayak, but the weight of a fishing kayak is a little bit too much for me to manage. So I wanted something durable, lightweight, that I could also take on moving water, so on rivers and on flat water where it's calm. And I decided on the Badfisher. So let me tell you about the Badfisher. Right out of the box, you get an inflatable stand-up paddleboard that you can take on rivers or lakes. It comes with a pump, a double action pump, a breakdown travel paddle, and a backpack board bag. Excellent for when you're bouldering into a place or when you're traveling by air or car and you want to take your board and all of your accessories in one bag. This is a perfect bag. So right out of the box, you're ready to go stand-up paddleboard. I also bought this perch fishing chair because it turns my stand-up paddleboard into a proper fishing kayak with less weight. So at under 40 pounds, or about 40 pounds adding the chair, I can carry my own fishing kayak down to the water and not have to rely on someone else to help me. I tend to buy and use everything right out of the box because you don't really know what you're going to need until you start using something. So a lot of times I'll try to rent or borrow something before I buy because I don't have unlimited disposable income, so I want to make smart purchases. And believe me, in the beginning, when I first became a paddler, I made some unwise purchases because staff in outdoor retailing stores didn't give me good advice. So now I go to experts, I do a lot of research, I test before I buy, and I've been making much better decisions. So don't purchase something because it's what Antoinette uses. I'm going to tell you why I purchase things and why I use certain things to help you make better choices about how and where you're going to fish, what kinds of equipment you might need, and you can maybe avoid some of the pitfalls I fell into in the beginning. So let's unbox this and look at my upgrades. Always have your knife handy. So here's the perch chair. What I love about this perch chair is that I can use it on any stand-up paddleboard that has the D-ring attachments, great camping chair or chair at the beach. So I love things to have multiple purposes. That's kind of my philosophy when I buy things, that I need to be able to use it for more than one thing. I sometimes paddle with friends with disabilities. So senior citizens, people with disabilities can use this chair. I can use my other stand-up paddleboard, and I can allow a friend with a disability to use this chair and sit and paddleboard. So it turns your paddleboard into an adaptive paddleboard for people with mobility and stability issues. I forgot to mention that this board comes with an ankle leash, which is, in my opinion, a must-have. I did upgrade to a different leash that doesn't attach to my ankle because I often paddle in white water, and I like the quick release that attaches to my personal flotation device, PFD. So here's what you get when you buy a Badfish SUP. A bi-directional pump, a breakdown travel paddle that allows me to adjust it to my height. Super important, a repair kit. And you want to carry this on your board because if it's in your garage, in your apartment or your car, it's not helping you. And an ankle leash. super easy to manage. So I'm going to stand up my customizable stand-up paddleboard paddle in the same offset as my whitewater kayaking paddle because I know for sure that feels great on my joints. So I've set up the stand-up paddleboarding or the kayak fishing paddleboard with a 60-degree right-hand offset versus my whitewater kayaking paddle has a 30-degree right-hand offset. So we'll test that out and see how it works, but it's customizable. I can move it around and adjust as necessary. So let's get it inflated and put our seat on. Here are a couple of things that I like. I like the green because when I'm just going in the garage to grab a paddleboard, this makes my Badfisher stand out amongst my other paddleboards. To a fish, they'll just see sky. I don't have any weird colors on the bottom that might scare a fish away. First, let's get tethered up. Let's get it inflated. So we just plug in our goal zero. The connection is on. You see that there are multiple connections from your car charger style connector, USB, or traditional AC. Connect our hose to the inflate portal. I want to make sure it's in the up position because I want to inflate it to a maximum of 17 psi. And my electric pump is already set to that psi. Connect. So now we wait. So I've got the chair at a comfortable rest. Because I broke my back, sitting more upright feels better for me, but you can recline it further back. It's completely adjustable. I'm ready to get out on the water. So when I'm recreating, I'm generally at between 5,000 feet and 12,000 feet. So this motion to pump my board means that I'll be super tired and I'll need a break before I can get on the board and paddle. So I'll donate this pump or keep it as a spare. So I upgraded my pump to an electric pump, which you can also purchase on the Badfish SUP website. The bag doesn't come with. It's one I already had. But it comes with a ton of accessories for your board. And I pair it with this Goal Zero. What I like about this Goal Zero is I'm not tethered to the truck to pump my board. So if I want to pump my board by the river's edge or at the campsite, I have this Goal Zero generator to do that, solar generator to do that. It has this great solar panel that meets all my needs when I'm camping or just recreating for the day. And so I can just plug into the Goal Zero, turn it on, and I'm ready to start pumping. And this Outdoor Master electric pump allows me to set the pounds per square inch, the PSI that's meant for my board, set it and it pumps to that setting and then it will shut off. I can pump 2 boards before this gets warm and then I have to turn it off and let it cool down. So I really like this product. Pairing it together with my Goal Zero makes me more self-reliant and I can go more places and not have to manually pump. Must have items for your stand-up paddleboarding experience. So we talked about having a leash if you fall off your board for any reason, or you just want to jump into the lake to cool off a little bit. You want to keep your board near you, so this tether is a must-have. A repair kit should definitely be on your board, and there are a couple of items in my state that are required by law, like a throw bag for rescues. I got this one from Kokatat. And I want to talk with you a little bit about some other items that I have that aren't must-haves, but they're really nice to have. So I have this dry bag. This dry bag is made by Watershed. I think it's the best in the business. I trust life-saving medical devices to this bag and put it on the water for a week or more at a time. It's also a backpack, and so I have a couple of these. One is a little smaller. I like to take this bag out when I'm going to be carrying gear for myself and for a friend or partner. I can put lots of gear that will keep us warm and dry and safe, as well as lunch and any health-related devices and solar panels, electronics, all go into this bag and they stay dry. Here are my two Kokatat fishing PFDs. I use this PFD when I'm paddling flat water, and I use this Leviathan, which is what professional anglers use when I'm paddling whitewater. But I've come to really love this Leviathan because of all the pockets. This has great pockets too, but I really like this Leviathan setup, so I tend to use the Leviathan more often. But either of this would suit your needs. If you were going to purchase a starter fishing vest, I'd go with this one. Okay, so here are some of my essentials. I already have the baits I want and a bait box. I have my personal hygiene essentials, always ample lip balm because it's very dry where I live. A sunscreen for melanated skin, but that bottle is too big for fitting in my personal flotation device or PFD, so I just carry a little tube. I have a small first aid kit because getting hooks caught in my finger have been an issue in the past when I was a new angler, but not so much now. I have these forceps on my PFD with a detachable connector, so I can use it, take a hook out of a fish, and just reattach it using the magnet to my PFD. I have this whistle in case I need some help, so it's in reach and I want to get someone's attention, and this retractable lanyard with my line snips. Slide this back to get it out of my way. It's all nice and neat, not dangling, not making a lot of noise, and it's out of my way. Always have sun protection. When the sun is very intense, I like a hat with a full brim. If it's not terribly sunny or if it's a very windy day, I'll go with a trucker style cap. I have a couple of places I can store my paddle while I'm fishing. I either slide it into the cargo netting or under my chair, but I also have this handy lanyard, which you just place it about center point on your rod, slide it through here, and then get it nice and tight and fold it back onto itself so that it's nice and secure. Then I'll attach the other end to a D-ring on the opposite side of where my rod leash is attached. And I know it's a little bit overkill because I have a rod holder, but I am also using a rod leash because rods and reels are expensive, and I'm trying not to lose this classic beauty right here. Best rods on earth, baby. So I will attach this leash on the right side of my paddleboard and on the other leash on the opposite side. Then I can also place this into the Scotty mount, which is removable, so when I want to fold up my paddleboard, the mount's not in my way. I have another leash for my net, which I'll probably stow under my chair, but I'll figure all of this out when I get out on the water. Rod holder by Scotty, and I'm going to install it on the existing Scotty plate. And Badfish thought of everything. They even gave me screws. So I'm just going to get this sort of hand tight initially, and then I'll go back and tighten them all. That's it for this episode of Adventure TV. Up next, we take wheelchair explorer Melissa Simpson out on a paddleboard that's been adapted specifically for her. Until next time, see you on the river or in the backcountry. I'm your host, Antoinette Lee Toscano. Like, follow, save, share, and subscribe.